So, anything exciting happen?
Yes, I just recently finished a really good book.
Okay, well if it's that good, you might as well tell me about it.
Well, the book is called The Family Romanov by Candace Fleming. The book is about the Russian Revolution and, well, as the title suggests, the Romanov family. Oh, Bloody Sunday! Since the peasants wanted a better life for themselves, they started learning how to read, and political documents were hard to find due to censorship by the Tsar. Censorship was very common in Imperial Russia because the Tsar or the king was an absolute ruler, which means he has absolute power. He's pretty much the government. He makes all the decisions and all this stuff. So yeah, anything the Tsar deemed offensive was censored. At the time, everyone who lived in Russia believed the Tsar was very close to being godlike. And on January 10th, 1905, 10,000 men, women, and children left their jobs and wouldn't return because they wanted an 8-hour work week, affordable housing, public education, and, well, better wage. They just simply walked up to the Tsar's palace and just to ask for what they wanted. But they were met with the Tsar's guards. And, well, unfortunately, the Tsar's guards started firing, thinking that the peasants were, in fact, a threat. And, well, many people died. Approximately 150 to 200 people died, with 450 and 800 people injured. And as the name implies, it happened on a Sunday. That's how Bloody Sunday got its name.
That's beyond horrible.
In 1920, the reason why it took so long for the Russian Revolution to end was, well, because of World War I. The heir to Austria-Hungary was assassinated, and Austria-Hungary blamed Serbia for it, and Serbia knew that war was coming, so they asked Russia for help, and, well, England also had to help Russia due to this document they signed years ago. And, well, France signed the same document but with England. So you have Serbia, Russia, England, and France all on one side, while Germany was siding with Austria-Hungary due to the same rules. The people of Russia felt united again. They thought that their lives would change for the better. However, this did not happen. More food shortages and living conditions were just horrible. And, well, Alexandra, Tsar Nicholas II's wife, was blamed for a lot of the failures, and she was rumored to be helping the Germans.
Why?
Well, Alexandra was German, and she was blamed for a lot of the failures, and, well, the family had a negative reputation due to this guy called Rasputin. The royal family needed him, and their only son Alexei had this disease called hemophilia. Hemophilia is a disease where if you get a single scratch, it could bleed and bleed on for days and no signs of stopping. So they called Rasputin, and Rasputin magically healed their son from an accident that happened on vacation. And from there on out, Alexandra was amazed, and from there on out, the royal family called Rasputin their friend.
He sounds like a really good guy.
He kept bragging to the nobles how close he was to the royal family. And, well, he did some suspicious activities with some women.
Did Rasputin ever heal Alexei?
Fully, no. Demands to get rid of Rasputin grew. And one night, some men decided to kill Rasputin, and so they asked him to go party with him, And, well, he took the bait, and there were cakes and wine that were supposedly laced with cyanide, and when Rasputin took a bite, nothing happened. The men were confused, and they eventually grew so angry enough that they started shooting at him. And, well, Rasputin eventually escaped outside, and, well, to sum up, he was shot 3 times, and then his corpse was dumped in the river, the Neva River. And when they found the body, to sum up, the 3rd bullet should have killed him, but the way he was positioned, it looked like he was grasping for a breath of air. And so they just said that gunshot wounds was his cause of death.
Wow, what a violent way to get rid of a guy. Is this just a question that I had for a while. Were there any political parties in the revolution?
Actually, yes. One of them being the Bolshevik Party, later known as the Communist Party. And contrary to popular belief, they did not start the revolution. Excuse me. And Lenin, one of their leaders, was not really a true leader. The entire party just wanted a better life for everybody. And the Bolsheviks did not want to put a dictator in place. They just, well, as I said before, wanted a better life. And they later assassinated the royal family. And then Lenin, who was part of the Bolshevik Party, as I've mentioned many times before already, became in charge of Russia after the royal family was dead.
That makes sense. Was the family assassinated?
Well, the royal family and many of their servants were locked in this house that was called a prison. And they were taken to a cellar that had 23 steps. And in fact, Nicholas ruled for 23 years. So, yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, the family was told that they were going to be evacuated later to another city. But that was just a lie made up by the Bolshevik Party. And then, with careful aim, Yakov Yursky shot every Romanov in the room and all their servants. And their corpses were soon discarded and destroyed, and no remains were found for many years.
Did any of them survive? I've heard that one of the children escaped.
That is not true. Many people have speculated for years that either Anastasia or Marie escaped. However, a team of scientists in 1976 looked for the remaining corpses, and they did find majority of the family in 1979. The only catch to this major discovery was in 1979, Russia was, well, the Soviet Union, and any mention of the Romanov family was simply forbidden. So nobody knew until years later after the Soviet Union fell in 1991.
So who led Russia after the Romanovs were gone?
Remember how I was talking about the Lenin guy? Well, he took over. He wasn't a very nice leader, though. In fact, Russia had a civil war for 3 years after the Romanovs died, and the Bolshevik Party became the Communist Party at this point. Life wasn't any better for anyone because the Communist Party issued many laws that enabled them to inspect every minute of everyone's life. The new government even told its citizens when and where they had to work. And everything was rationed, everything. Even electricity had to be rationed. Also, in order to eat in the city, you had to sign up at these food trucks and wait in a very long line for hours on end. And majority of the time, these food trucks ran out of food.
I do have one more question. Would you recommend the book? Did you like it?
In all honesty, I really did enjoy reading this book. I found out a lot of new things, and it didn't feel like it was fact upon fact upon fact. And it just felt natural, and it had a pretty good pace. The chapters have subheadings, which I really enjoy because I could stop in the middle of the chapter and not really be lost. And, well, each subheading foreshadowed and alluded to the next subheading, so you wanted to read more and more and more. And I thoroughly enjoyed every single bit of this book. It was amazing.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, I'm still at Katie's house. Oh, okay. Bye. Sorry, that was my mom.